I didn't see you there. But before you scroll, I need you to sit with one question. Not answer it really fast. Don't brush past it. I want you to sit with it. Just one question. Have you been strong for so long that you don't even know who you are without the title? We've been talking about high-performing ghosts this week. We're not talking about the loud versions, not the obvious breakdowns. We're talking quiet ones. The one who shows up every day. The one who handles everything. The one that keeps things moving. The one people rely on without hesitation. The one people call without thinking twice. Because they already know you'll figure it out. On day one, we named it. The reliable one. The steady one. The one who doesn't drop the ball. And somehow, all of that became your identity. It's not something you just do. It's just who you are. On day two, we broke down how it worked. It wasn't dramatic. You take on more than you should. You say yes before you think. You carry things that were never assigned to you. And it's not because you have to. It's just simply because you can. And the worst part is that nobody questions if you can handle it. Not even you. You don't question it. You just handle it. So let's be honest here. You're strong, you're capable, you're all that in a bag of chips. You know it, I know it. And the key is that you've proven it so many times to doubt it. You solve problems, you fix what other people walk away from. You step in when things are falling apart. You don't panic, you just manage to adjust. You move a certain way, you handle it a certain way that nobody's doubting. That's why they come to you. Not because you're available, because you're just dependable. Because when it matters, when it all boils down to whatever it is, you just don't fold. But here's the part no one says out loud. Capability like yours, it attracts tons of responsibility. And that responsibility just keeps stacking and stacking until one day you look at your life and you realize you've handled everyone else's but yours. And you're holding all the pieces to their puzzle because you can. And no one ever stops to say, hey, you, should you do that? So at some point, it stops becoming help and it starts becoming expectation. They don't ask if you can do it anymore. They just assume you will because you've always been there to hold it all together. They don't check to see if you're okay. They could care less. They just assume you are cool because you've never shown them anything different. And if you want me to be honest, you trained them. Not intentionally, but consistently you trained them. By showing up. You said, I've got it. I'll handle it. Don't worry about me. I'm strong. I'm capable. So they don't worry about you. And now you're carrying weight that nobody even realizes is too darn heavy for you to continue to hold on your shoulders. But let's talk about where it changes. Not outside in the streets. Inside here. You stopped asking for help. Not because you didn't need it, because it felt unnatural for you to need the help. It felt uncomfortable, even wrong. You became the solution. So being the one with need doesn't fit the role. You started minimizing your exhaustion by saying, I'm good, even though you weren't. I'm just tired. It's not that bad, but it is that bad. You just got used to it. Are you following me? Now let's talk about the cost. Not time, not money, not energy. You already know those, but it's so deeper. You stopped expressing yourself honestly. Not because you don't have feelings, because you don't feel safe putting those feelings down. Who do you say it to? The people who depend on you? The people who expect you to be steady. So you hold it and it shows up right here in your jaws. It feels right here in your chest. You feel it. You process it alone. You carry it quietly. You handle it internally. But over time, that silence becomes your normal and you sit with it. Now we get to the truth. Just don't act strong. You believe you have to be strong, always. Even when you're overwhelmed, you show up the same way. Even when you're drained, you perform the same way. Even when you need support, you stay quiet because somewhere along the way, you've already made a decision. If I don't hold it together, everything will fall apart. So you don't test that. You don't risk that, and you just keep on holding. Now, the thing that no one prepared you for is that strong people like yourself don't always break loudly. Sometimes they just disconnect. They go quiet. They pull back internally. And they don't pull back from their responsibility, but they pull back from their inner self. You still show up. You still perform. You still deliver. But something is missing. It's you. Now, this is the part that really hits. You're not invisible. The people see you. I see you. They respect you. They depend on you. But how does it feel to be invisible to yourself? You stop checking in. You stop asking what you need. You stop recognizing when you are at full capacity because your focus has been external for so long. You lost connection internally. Look, I wrote about this at the end of December. The silence between who you were and who you're becoming. That lonely hallway you have to walk before peace becomes your power. The link is in the description. Read it after this. Because what I'm telling you today, I've already wrote and been there and processed. But there comes a moment where you don't have to have all loud thoughts and you don't have to be dramatic and break down. A quiet moment where you just realize nothing is wrong on the outside, but something definitely is missing right in here. Look, you've done everything right. You've met expectations. You've handled all the responsibilities. You've maintained that single thread of stability, but you don't feel it. And truthfully, strength was never meant to isolate you like this. It was never meant to silence you like this. It was never meant to disconnect you from yourself. Strength is a tool. It's not your identity, but you turned it into one because it worked. It's worked for years because it's protected you for years because it got you through. But now it's costing you. This is where everything begins to shift. And it doesn't mean you have to do more, but you have to see it differently. You don't need to stop being strong. I'm not telling you that by all means, but you do need to stop being strong all the time. Now that is the difference between capability and constant carrying. You can still show up. You can still lead by example. You can still handle things without abandoning you in the process. So here's another question. Not can you handle it? We know you can. We already know this. The question is, why are you still choosing to carry everything alone when you don't have to? Sit with that. Because the answer is not external, it's internal. Do yourself a favor tonight. Not later, not when it's convenient. Do it tonight. Look at your life. Not the whole thing all at once. Just one area of focus where you are carrying something that you don't have to carry alone. I want you to be honest with yourself. I don't want you to justify it. Don't explain it away. Just look at it. You don't have to drop everything. That's not the move. Just one thing, one responsibility, one weight that feels too heavy, one expectation that's too much. And ask yourself, what would happen if I didn't carry this by myself anymore? That's where you start. That's the starting point. Look at me. I want you to know from the bottom of my heart that you are strong. That's not in question, and it never has been. But strength was never meant to cost you your connection to yourself. It was never meant to silence your needs. It was never meant to isolate. You don't lose who you are by putting some things down. You remember who you are outside of carrying everything. And that version of you, the one who exists beyond responsibility, beyond expectation, beyond constant strength, is still there, waiting. Not for you to become someone new, for you to come back to yourself. I'll see you in the next one.